stories in the dark. I kind of like doing stories in the dark. I don't know why, but maybe I'll show my face sometime because I don't want people to think it's weird. Anyways, I do have a face. I do show it once in a while. I guess you're weird if you don't show your face, according to these cyber stalker people. I don't know. So, anyways, I was thinking of talking about my past jobs, like way, way, like when I was in my 20s. Okay, so this was a weird thing that happened in Salem. Okay, so I took this. Maybe this is what it all stems from. My targeting was really weird, but so we worked at the call center to call for, you know how you call, they call, and they try to get donations for the police. I can't remember what it was about, but like we get called into court about it. So that was a long time ago. That was like when I was in my 20s, and maybe I was even younger than that. But Salem, New Hampshire, okay, and everybody comes from Salem, New Hampshire. All right, our governor comes from Salem, New Hampshire. The deed lady that had fraudulent documentations in her deeds office comes from Salem, so that's just coincidence. So anyways, so we're working in this call center, and we had to we just was trying to get donations for the police, and then we had to go to court for it, but I don't remember what that was all about. But it was really weird. Like, I didn't have to testify or anything, but like 3 of us showed up in court. I don't know, you know what? I feel like I was like targeted my whole life. Like, I feel like, I don't know, I've always been kind of like a loner, all right? I always had like clingy friends that had a lot of problems. So I was always like the one that I felt like I had to help them with their problems. But they were always like clingy friends, like needy friends. And I was always kind of like the loner. And even in my family, I felt like the loner. So I don't know. It's just really weird. Now I'm looking back at it, but that whole thing with Salem, I had to go to court for that. But I forget, like we didn't testify or anything. It's something with the funds. I don't know if I already told the story. Okay, so that was one job, and then, so then my mother put me through hairdressing school. So my first hairdressing job was at this place, Casa de Rose or something like that in Methuen. Well, what happened was it was just a small shop, okay, and it was just him and his main hairdresser that was working there for years. Really small shop. So he had 2 chairs in the front of the shop, and then he had like 3 chairs downstairs. Okay, so he hired us 3 new people out of school. Okay, but he didn't have enough clientele to support that. All right, and any clientele that came in, of course, the woman that was working for him for years would take it. So we're sitting down there, and like, wow, we have no work, and then even walk-ins, she would take it. So we had no work. So I literally I didn't even have money to put in I had a little Pinto. If you guys remember, you remember the little Pintos back in the day? My mom gave me that, and she bought a new car, and she gave me this little Pinto. I love that car, and I ended up smashing it in Salem. Well, actually, the red light was broken, and a guy smashed into me, and we totaled it, I guess. But it was the cutest little hatchback. It was light blue. I love that car. And I'll tell you, it went on the trails pretty good, because I take it out in the woods once in a while. But and I was the only one that had like a car at the time, so my friends would call me up and they'd be like, "I give you money for gas. Come and get me." If I had friends, I don't even remember who my friends were. It's like growing up, I had a best friend across the street, which is really weird because she's Mike Gill's cousin. So this is really funny if you guys don't know Mike Gill. Okay, Mike Gill's like trying to. He's like wicked targeted, all right? He's like trying to uncover corruption in New Hampshire, okay? And his cousin lived across the street. And I used to see Mike Gill when he was young come over with his father. And it was like, wow, it was Mike Gill at the time, right? I was like, wow, that's really weird. So anyways, yeah, so she was my best friend. We used to have this like flashlight code thing, and we'd flash it through the trees, like, and then we'd call each other on the phone when we had cords on the phone, that's how old I am. And I'd be like, hey, I was like, it's supposed to be flash, flash, dot, flash. Like we do like a Morse code, try to communicate. We had this like little system. It was really fun. But yeah, she was my best friend. So, and she was actually a really good friend. So I don't know, but thank God I had one really good friend in the neighborhood. Salem, New Hampshire. So, which was a good town. I liked living in Salem. The school Woodbury was okay. I was always alone. Like, I was always alone. No guys liked me, and if a guy liked me, he was always like a really weird guy. Then I fell in love with David Tilton. Oh my God. Oh my God, that's a whole nother story. But I don't know why I fell in love with him. It's so weird. You don't think things, when you're young, you don't think about things. So, but I was with him for a long time. I was with him for what, friggin' 10 years or something? Oh, Lord. I'm just looking back. So, the hairdressing job, that didn't work. So, what else so then I get another job at this place, like a more updated place. I'm so excited, okay? And that was called Sagittarius Concept. And I was like, oh my God, this place is awesome. The lady's nice. It's updated, more modern, and it was called Sagittarius Concept. So I was like, oh, that's perfect for me. I'm Sagittarius, all right? And it was right down the street from my house, like literally like right down the street. So I was like, oh my God, this is great. So I go in there, but this is when the computer systems were just being introduced. So they were trying to figure out damn computers, I'm telling you. So they're trying to figure out their computer system, right? I have no clue, all right? This is like when they had the floppy disks, okay? They just got it or something. And they wanted me to be the receptionist with the damn computer. And I was like, no, I don't want to, like, I'm here to do hair. I don't want to, but you have to start somewhere and then work your way up, okay? But I wasn't doing hair. I was doing everything else but hair. And I didn't want to be the receptionist, okay? So I started doing little things like they did let me do manicures, which I really loved. Maybe I should have just been a manicurist because I really like doing manicures. So I'd mostly do manicures, and I was doing the shampooing, okay? And let me tell you, I'm a good shampooer, all right? I got that down pat. So I'm doing shampooing for the other hairdressers. That's fine. And I was just doing little things. I was doing laundry in the back and organizing, just little things, but I still wasn't doing hair. So I was going to get frustrated because I was like, hey, I want to do hair. So it just ended up being this ended up being like the floater, like doing all the other stuff, which is, of course, it's always me being the floater, whatever. So anyway, so I was really sick. I got really sick, and I was hacking over these people being sick, washing their hair, and she knew I was sick, okay? So I didn't call out because I was like, I just started the job. I don't want to lose my job, so I didn't call out, but I'm hacking my brains over the customers. I'm like, this isn't right, I'm like, oh, excuse me, and hacking my brains out, because back in the day, like, when I don't even think I smoked, I got a lot of bronchitis for some reason, but I haven't got anything for a long time, and I got autoimmune disease from supposedly Lyme disease, but I don't even believe that. So anyway, so I'm working at this place, right? I'm sick. She knows I'm sick. So I call in one day, right? And she calls my mother, all right? And she's like, oh, Luann's not there. I need to talk to Luann. She's calling at my house, right? And I went to the store because my mother didn't drive at the time. So I go to the store to get medicine, and she calls right when I go to the store to get medicine. So she thinks I like blew off work, but I was actually at the store. So anyway, she let me go because I called in sick, like the first time. But there was like, all the girls were like really snobby in there, and they were all like, like, I don't know. It was just really cliquey, and I was just ignoring that. I just was washing the hair and doing the manicures and cleaning the place and doing laundry, all the towels, and just trying to do my career. So after that, I was like, you know what? I don't know, maybe hairdressing isn't for me. So I got a job at Bradley's, and that was really fun. I really loved the job at Bradley's because my manager that I worked for, I was in the sight and sound department, which was music. And for the most part, I was like the manager because he really didn't care, and he was just like, yeah, just do whatever. And I don't know. I think he kind of like liked me at the time. Like, I don't know, but he just let me get away with everything. Like, not that I did anything bad, but like if I wanted 1 o'clock, I'm like, nobody's messing with my 1 o'clock because I used to go home and have lunch with my mom and watch All My Children. Do you remember All My Children? So it was like I have to go home and eat my lunch with my mom and watch All My Children. But Bradley's was really fun. I worked there for like, oh my God, forever. And became friends with the girl that was the cashier. She wasn't the cashier. She was the lady that counted the money, whatever you call that. And they had this little room where they were always counting the money. The counting. I made friends with this girl, Cheryl, in there, and we became really good friends. And yeah, Bradley's was really fun. And then I think the one in Salem closed, and then I went to work. I think I worked nights at the one in Plastow. If you guys remember Bradley's before they closed. So that was retail. That was really fun. And why did I leave there? I forget why I left there. But then I decided to go into the cleaning and doing offices and stuff. And I'll tell you, with cleaning, the best thing to do is offices. You know why? Because nobody's there. They're not fussy. Like, for the most part, most of the people don't want you to touch their desk, even though I had to do that because their desks were disgusting. So a lot of people's desks were disgusting. But yeah, so I like the offices. Residential, I don't really like too much. I didn't like it when the people were home. But the offices was really good. So, and I had a million freaking jobs, so I did really good doing that. And so I gave up my hairdressing career because it felt too much competition and I don't know, cliquey, and you have to look really good all the time. Like, you're a hairdresser, you can't have a bad hair day. You can't have bad nails. Your nails have to look pretty. Your hair has to be perfect. That's a lot to keep up. It's really hard. It's hard to like try to be pretty every day. It's like an hour project for me in the morning. It's too much energy. This is too much energy. So, anyways, that's a little history of my jobs. Yeah, I did senior care for a while. That was fun, helping senior citizens. I don't know how I got those jobs. I think maybe I might have put a flyer in the senior citizen home on their bulletin board. But yeah, I had that one customer, Betsy Webbs. I loved her. I loved that woman, Betsy Webster. Oh, okay. I can't think of anything else. My jobs. I don't want jobs anymore. I want to retire. Is it too early?